Hey guys, so I watched the newest episode of When We Were Evil recently. In one of the recent episodes, the party goes to hell and some of the creatures are described within hell, so I thought I would recreate them. That is the video you are currently watching. Anyway, I am first starting off by placing a layer of latex and small points over my face and chest area. I do have some makeup on from the day, but that doesn't matter so much, but maybe start with a clean face. Make sure that you try and avoid getting the latex in your eyes and near your hair, as that is going to hurt. Once you've done that, you are going to get some cotton balls and place them over the latex areas whilst it's still wet. Once you have done this, you will then need to cover the cotton in more latex. You have to do this with a sponge or your finger. If you use a sponge, then use one you don't mind getting rid of later, as latex will ruin it. I also moulded the shape of the lump with my fingers to give it a shape I wanted. However, if you don't mind getting a random shape, then that is fine. But I found that using the sponge and my finger pulled the latex up and made it look more stringy. So I tried to mould it more into a ball shape. Here is me adding more latex to it and trying to mould it more into a ball shape that I wanted. Once you have done that, you will need to use more latex to cover the edges to smooth them down. I got a clean sponge and dabbed around the edges of the lump, making it seem more like it was part of my skin. I then copied the step over the rest of my face and on my neck. Oh, sorry about the random whitewashing apparently. Oh, there we go. When I have made myself very lumpy, I covered my face in latex. Be very careful about your eyes, eyebrows and hairs on the side of your face with this step. I did this so that later we can pick holes in the latex to make our skin look more infected and grotesque. I'm just adding a thin layer. Also, it will give it more of an uneven look, I'm hoping. Notice that my makeup is running very nicely on that eye. The problem with cheap latex is that your eyes water quite a lot. So maybe get the better latex that you have, the less likely your eyes will water. The step isn't necessarily necessary. Oh, that was a sentence and a half. The step isn't particularly necessary. You can, if you want to do the step later on, you can just put small patches over your skin that you want to pick holes in. I just did it like this because then I can remember, I know that I don't have to remember where I put the latex specifically. I can just pick holes in my face. Don't actually pick holes in your face though, that won't go well. Here I'm using my finger to get into the places that the sponge couldn't get into. The monsters in the video were described as being light blue and green. I don't have these colours, so I use purple, but feel free to use other colours as well. Once the latex had dried, I covered my neck and face in body paint. I used Snazaroo body paint that I bought on eBay, but feel free to use any body paint that you feel comfortable with. I suggest not using alcohol activated paints because I will be going over my eye and that wouldn't go well, so I suggest just using it like that because I'm going over my eyes and mouth, so use water or cream activated paints. If I were to go out for a day looking like this, then I would also paint the exposed skin on my hands and any other exposed skin with the costume I'd be wearing, but for the sake of the video I only painted my neck and face. Oh, yep, not in focus. There we go. And here you will see me with a fully purple face. The creatures aren't described as having facial hair, so I went over my eyebrows with the same body paint that I used for the rest of my body. You don't have to worry about getting this in your hair, as it should wash out with water if it is a water activated paint or a cream paint. I also cover my eyelids with this paint. I went back over the paint once it had dried to give it an extra layer so that it looked more like skin rather than paint. I also painted it slightly into my hair so that you couldn't see my skin through my hairline. I don't do it in this step and I don't actually show it on camera, but you will see in the next couple of minutes that there's a very defined line that you can see my actual skin tone and then the purple, and I just put a thin layer in my hair to give it a more seamless look. I also painted my ears because otherwise they will stand out quite a lot because they don't match the rest of the purple face and neck. So I painted them. I made sure that all the lumps had paint in the little holes that were created so that there isn't any white dots just on my face and that everything is purple. But I didn't do a good job because you can still see some white dots. But I made sure that the worst of it was out the way. I didn't worry too much about getting it really close to the paint really close to my eyes because we're covering our eyes later with eyeshadow anyway. But I did make sure that they were relatively close to my eyes. Once the step has been complete and the paint is dried, go and pick holes in the latex that is on your face. Be careful of your skin underneath though. I did this several times over my face and just added various different holes everywhere. It's very cringy to watch, I've discovered. This is why I put latex all over my face, so that I'm not refined? Yeah, I think that's the correct word. To just specific places, and I can pick holes in wherever I feel as though is necessary. And I can pick as many or as little holes as I want to in my face. I wouldn't necessarily do this to the whole of my body if I was wearing this as a costume out, because it is quite uncomfortable, but you can do it to your neck and just do the same steps to your neck and other places in your body that you want to have holes in. The monsters are also described as having quite large mouths, so you could go in and paint a large mouth, but I quite like the actual look rather than just an illusion look. I feel as though if you use makeup to make yourself have a large mouth, it would be based more off of illusions rather than special effects makeup. Does that make sense? That makes sense. There's a difference, I'm sure. Someone's going to hate me for saying that, but there's a difference, I think. Then I picked a smallish brush and filled the holes with black eyeshadow. It doesn't matter which eyeshadow you use, but make sure that it's not particularly shiny, because holes aren't shiny when they're dark. This will hide our skin colour underneath and will make the holes appear deeper than they actually are. Don't worry about making it too neat, as it gives more effect to the wound if there is a slight shadow around it too. If the wound is too dark, then you can go around it again with a slightly lighter colour. I think I used a slightly light brown, and I just dabbed it slightly over the holes to give it a slightly lighter look. I said slightly too many times then. I wonder if
it's like those runes.
we
Those
could
like hell runes.
add
You played Doom. So,
just a
but
smidgen
it's still, I'll tell you, you can
with
still
blood,
find it a little bit.
just a smidge.
And
As you heard, I am taking a small amount of fake blood on my finger and dabbing it into the holes in my face. I did this with all the holes. I put a small bit on my finger, dabbed into a hole, and then reused that finger, but I found it looked better with quite a lot of blood. Not enough to make it run out of the wound, but enough to give it an actual red look rather than just a weird blackish colour. I also, again, didn't worry so much about the look of it, because it doesn't matter so much if it's slightly splattered outside of the hole. Now watch me struggle to find a correct brush for 35 seconds. Brush number 2. Nope, did not work. Now try and find another brush. There we go. Third time lucky. What I'm doing here is putting more black eyeshadow around my eyes, This should give it a more sunken effect, because I'm pretty sure the creatures are described as having quite sunken in eyes. Although it doesn't need to be too neat, so it doesn't matter if you don't blend out the edges as much, because of the look that we're going for, because we're going for a sunken in look rather than a beauty look, so it doesn't matter so much if it's just like you have quite that sudden look. However, try and make sure that it stays within the perimeter of your eye socket, because otherwise I feel as though you'll just look a little bit like a panda, and we don't want the panda look, we want the sunken in eye look. I have like a thing of water, so I will run my hands through my hair with slightly wet hands to give it a greasy-ish look. Done. I'd say that's pretty good. I'm quite happy with that, actually. If I do say so myself. There we go. I think that looks pretty good.
Yes, I did.
This is the look. I will link down below the video description. More videos like this, click here, in theory. If you like this type of video, please tell me down there. Give it a like, subscribe, because I do videos like this every Sunday. And yeah, bye bye.
First time.
I look awful.
He looks at you expectantly.